I was born and grew up in Poland. As most people there, we were Catholic. My experience with faith was limited to going to the church on Sundays with my grandfather or being sent there with my sister once we were old enough, while my parents were staying at home. When I was a teenager, I struggled a lot with my image. I started dieting and obsessing about the food. When I was 19, I started struggling with an eating disorder called bulimia. For many years, my days were filled with binging and purging. I was exhausted physically, emotionally. I was very lost. That's when I met Jesus for the first time in my life. When it seemed like there was no more hope for me, Jesus gave me hope. I gave my life to Jesus, and He led me out of the bondage of the eating disorder. Unfortunately, once I was doing better, I forgot about my Savior, and I started walking in the flesh again. One of the consequences was getting pregnant by my boyfriend, who asked me to abort the baby. By God's grace, I decided to keep the baby, and He faithfully provided everything I needed to take care of this beautiful baby girl on my own. After 2 years of being single mom, God brought into my life an amazing man who is my husband now. We fell in love and got married the following year. Very quickly, it became obvious to us that we were two broken people with a lot of baggage from the past. This is exactly when I knew I wouldn't make it on my own and that I needed my Savior. We started going to the church on a regular basis. Reading the Bible and prayers were becoming gradually a part of my life. My husband and I started attending as well Celebrate Recovery, a Christ-centered ministry that assists people who are looking for freedom from life's hard habits and hang-ups that hinder them from having the abundant life God planned for them. Jesus showed me the reasons for my poor choices in my life. I realized that they were symptoms of the wounds in my heart and the pain coming from them. Only God was able to heal them. I learned that a healing starts with acknowledging and admitting my hearts and hang-ups. I learned that I am as sick as my secrets. Very often, pride, shame, and guilt are in the way to become honest about my struggles. Or when I am busy fixing my spouse or others, then I don't have time to look at my own weaknesses and mistakes. But when I am willing to admit my need for God and His help to overcome my struggles, that's when an impossible change becomes possible. So far, the hardest thing for me to accept about myself has been my struggles with acting out in my anger. It took me a very long time to finally stop fighting the truth that I repeat some of the destructive ways I experienced as a child and that have been happening in at least 3 generations of my family. There were many days I felt hopeless regarding this area of my life until I finally let God shine His light on that part of my life. For a long time, I thought I had to change myself, but it is only God who can truly change me by changing my heart when I let Him. I know with all my heart that Jesus is 100% trustworthy. If somebody asked me, do you trust Jesus? I would say, yes, of course, I trust Him. Yet the truth is that in my life, there are many situations where I want to be in control instead of letting go and let God do His work. For example, last year when I was pregnant, one of the tests indicated a possibility of having a baby with Down syndrome. We had to wait 1 week for the ultrasound that would reveal if that would be the case. During that very long week, I was very, very anxious. I kept seeking God and hearing Him, and He was telling me, trust me, I will be there for you. I will walk with you each step of the way. Yes, you will have to depend on me each day, but you can trust me that I will be enough to carry you through. I heard Him very clearly speaking repeating it over and over again to me. Yet I could tell that I was scared to have to depend on God each single day. I kept telling him, God, I don't think I trust you enough to jump off this cliff and be caught by you. 1 week later, I had the ultrasound appointment and the doctor told us there were no signs of the Down syndrome. We were very grateful, yet at the same time, I realized that my trust in Jesus had a lot of room to grow. Recently, God has been taking me to a deeper level of obedience. He has been showing me that obeying Him might and often involves discomfort and stepping out of my comfort zone. It involves as well saying no to some things or activities in my life, so I can say yes to other things that God is leading me to. I don't have to be smarter, richer, or wiser to be used by God. I just have to be available. I am a simple instrument that can be used in amazing ways by our amazing God. In the first place, I take time to nurture my relationship with Jesus. Then I hope that my faith lived out in front of our children leads them to follow Jesus. On Sunday mornings, my husband and I are having fun with the first graders while learning about Jesus. An important part of my life is serving together with my husband at Celebrate Recovery, where hurting people can experience the power of God's grace and the freedom in Jesus Christ that is available for everybody.